I really wanted to send my sincerest condolences to the entire Paper Route Empire team. Um, to hear the news and to, I got contacted by some people who were on the ground today, kind of detailing me what happened with Young Dolph. Very sad situation. Every time I hear about a rapper being involved in an incident, sometimes we're kind of trained and fooled to think, oh, okay, no, they're gonna make it. I remember when I heard Nipsey got shot, I'm like, oh, he's gonna make it. And obviously, like if you think about Young Dolph's life, there's been multiple times people have tried to kill him or try to hurt him with obviously some gun violence, and he either survived or he was in a bulletproof vehicle, but unfortunately this time that was not the case. He went to this cookie shop. Apparently, he was getting his mom cookies. Dudes pulled up, just start firing instantly into the spot. We don't know if anybody else was hit, but Young Dolph was hit and he died. I heard that he was firing back. I don't know if that's completely verified, but from what people said, it looked like he was trying to defend himself. But still, you know what happened. You know, I feel like we go through these situations like every couple of months where we're mourning another rapper. And, we got to be honest, man. This shit is ridiculous that's going on. Young Dolph is just, he was a filthy rich motherfucker from South Memphis, made it out against all the odds, changing multiple people's lives. If you don't know what Paper Route Empire is, like that's his label, PRE or whatever. And I know a couple people over there because, again, I talk to most either labels or indie labels, behind the scenes. Like there's a staff over there. There's a staff. There's a lot of people that rely on Young Dolph, and it's only in hip hop do you see the CEO, the boss, the guy who essentially is funding the whole operation go out in a tragic death at a store. You know what I mean? Like, again, not saying other people don't move with precaution, but I don't think like for the people who invest in Tesla, like the last thing you would expect is if Elon Musk got killed. You know what I mean? Like that's not even something off the norm. Like in other worlds where you have these entrepreneurs that have become CEOs and bosses, but in hip hop, as it's sad that usually, I won't say usually, but sometimes the goal was to get rich, but it's usually cut short by death and tragedy. So, I send my condolences to the entire team. I seen a bunch of people from Paper Route kind of like deactivate and probably for just many reasons. They're probably not trying to give statements about shit. People are just so inquisitive. Like, when something happens, niggas hit you up just to ask you about some shit. Like they don't really care. They're just trying to like they're trying to get it from the horse's mouth. Yo, damn, yo, who did that? Like, get the, you know what I mean? So like, you gotta respect people's privacy, peace, respect people mournings, period. Um, from what I hear, he had kids. He had a wife or a leading lady in his life. Obviously, his mother cared about him a lot of family, a lot of friends, a lot of employees, work associates, business partners that are obviously going to be feeling this in many ways. Memphis is a place that's kind of I've never been there, but from all the accounts from and by the way, I've interviewed Dolph, I've interviewed a few other people from Memphis as well. They all kind of describe it as a place that it's small. It's big, but it's not big. It's small in a way. Um, you have a lot of the ecosystem that's happening in Memphis is something that is great because we're getting good music out of it, but it's a very tense situation, such as the case with many other places. So I just want to send my condolences to Dolph, family, and anybody else. Somebody said, "Where? What are y'all talking about? Live by the streets, die by the streets." Um, I won't necessarily say that. It's hard for me to say that. I think we're making assumptions if you're just saying live by the streets, die by the streets instantly. I think people look, and this is the thing about when you beef with somebody publicly and people know you have issues publicly, when something happens to you, the first thought is going to be that those people you were having problems with did it. We don't really know who did anything to Dolph. We don't know if it's connected to maybe public beefs he had or public issues with niggas, or maybe it was just some random person. It could be a hater. There's been deaths in hip hop that didn't have to do with beef. Think about the XXXTentacion death. When he got killed, he wasn't beefing with niggas. He wasn't living by the street, dying by the street. But again, coming from very impoverished neighborhoods and also being people of color, when you choose to stay in certain type of environments, there's a lot of jealousy, envy that breeds. Not saying that's necessarily the case here, but I'm saying that there's a mixed bag of things that could happen in terms of why shit like this happens. Until we know who did it, we can't be on some shit like, oh, nah, just live by the streets, die by the streets. You know what I mean? Again, somebody says, go check Soulja Boy's Instagram. I think Soulja Boy's trying to troll this situation out. I love Soulja, but that's tasteless. I'm gonna tell you why it's tasteless. First of all, even if I don't think Dolph and Soulja had no issues, and even if there were words exchanged, I don't think it was that serious. But I always say death absolves and kind of ends all beef. And if you ask me, this would be Soulja Boy trying to capitalize on the fact that he had issues with Dolph right before he died and trying to promote a song, which is kind of like, Soulja, for all the great things you've done, and you definitely know how to get attention. If you're trying to capitalize off somebody else's death to promote a song, that's not cool. That's not cool. You feel me? We got to keep it 100. That's not cool. You know what I mean? And also, when you put that energy out there, shit comes back around. People gonna remember that. People always remember that shit. Now, even if, it was just internet trolling and jokes before, now you put it in the realm where I don't know if his people in Key Glock or whoever could be like, oh, you know what, that's just Soulja. We were just going back and forth. Now it might feel a little malicious. Again, I didn't hear the song, so maybe it's just completely unrelated. Maybe it's coincidence. But just even looking at some of the comments there, it looked like he's super duper doing some indirect shit, but it's very tasteless given the timing, if you ask me. But again, ain't no rules to this shit, man. Ain't no rules to this shit. All right, let me see. Someone said the song was made yesterday. Someone said Soulja was getting cover art last night. All right, maybe he was gonna drop it anyway. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Someone said, I heard they put Memphis on a curfew. They probably did. Hey, we could sit and let me see.